Hey everybody, down here in the basement shop here at Grips Archery, and it's March, and I'm fletching some arrows. What you guys don't, you aren't fletching your hunting arrows in March in preparation for the season. Maybe that's just me. So I got kind of a multi-part video. Some of it, I'm on 3 different properties, and it was over the course of a couple days. I was shed hunting. I did some talk about mineral block placement and a tip for that. And then I was also working on, aside from pulling sticks, climbing sticks, and scouting around and getting ready for next year, I was also prepping a couple areas for a new ground blind spot. So without taking too much time, let's go ahead and jump into that video.
Okay, everybody, headed down the road. It is Saturday. What is today? February 24th, I believe. And our season just closed a few weeks ago, and I am back heading out. I'm gonna do a little early shed hunting. I know there's one buck in particular that I know for a fact has lost at least one of his antlers, and before the squirrels get to it, I sure would like to find it. So at the risk of jinxing my antler finding odds, I'm gonna traipse around and look for that. But I'm also gonna do a little trail maintenance. Get my mineral blocks out. I'm going to talk about my mineral block when I get out there and how I set it up and my reason for doing that and all that. I also want to prep some of my ground hunting spots. I want to build up the brush around those spots, kind of brush those areas in for ground, little ground blind maintenance. Now's a good time to do it. So we have not been out of our archery season for a month yet, and this is a perfect time to go out there, do a little scouting. Trails this time of year are super easy to see. They're torn up. The ground freezes and thaws and freezes and thaws, and it really makes a lot of those trails jump out. I want to, pull a couple sticks, and got a few things that I want to take care of. So, they always say, oh, the season's over. The season is never over. It just changes a little bit. So that's what I'm going to go work on today. So stay tuned, and hopefully here with the magic of film editing, here in the next few seconds, I'm gonna be walking up on an antler or two. So stay tuned. Well, not the one I'm looking for, but I am on the board. All right, so I'm out here tooling around on the Ranger, like I said, doing some trail maintenance, a little bit of checking on sticks and pulling sticks, and just kind of scouting around and looking for particular sign. And this is one of my, I call that for obvious reasons, I call that the mineral hole. And a couple years ago I started setting a trace mineral block there, and I'm not under the impression that that mineral block is going to grow giant antlers. But as you can see, the deer like it. And this is my way of, I can put one camera on this spot and I get a lot of traffic and it helps me take inventory. The does and the yearlings hit this almost every day, especially in the off season. And when the buck's antlers start growing, they hit it not as often as the does, but they do come here and hit it. And that log that you see there, I had my block on that log, and this one buck in particular, last year, he liked to knock it over. And I don't know why, but I've got him on camera hitting it with his antlers and knocking it over. So what I'm gonna do for this next block, I'm gonna leave that hole. I'm sure it still has months worth of mineral in the dirt. But what I'm going to do, and I've done this at a couple spots before, is I am moving that block to this stump. And what will happen is the rain will run down that block, and that old rotten stump will absorb that mineral water, and they will eat the log. As you can see, they have eaten part of that log, and they'll eat the stump and they'll eat the dirt that's around it. And I'm gonna be interested to see how that's gonna change over this off season, how long. I know when I set the block, and I've done this at home, behind the house. I've got a particular stump that I've done, and over at our property, our family property, I've done it. And they actually eat the dirt underneath the stump, and they don't seem to lick on the block as much, especially if it's up and a little more inconvenient for them to get to. And it makes the blocks last longer. I throw a block into that puddle, and it dissolves in no time. And, some will say that that's good, but I like to have them up on that stump. So that's what we're going to try this time. And I'll go ahead and show some other footage of the stumps that I've been using for years with blocks on them. So more a little later. Well, I just happened to look over. I saw this one. And that one clearly is from last year. And I walked through here. This goes to show, man, I walked through here multiple times. And that dude has been here a while. Squirrel's already on him. I don't think it's this year's. So, I guess that's two. All right, so here's another one. I've been using this one for a few years. Just put a fresh block on it. It had finally worn down, but you can see they lick and eat on the stump, and you can tell that they're also eating the dirt. Now this one's hot, not too high. They can actually lick on the block if they want to, but once the block is gone, there's enough of the mineral saturated and soaked into that stump and into the dirt that it does okay. And then typically I will have a camera on that old cedar tree right there, and I'll get good inventory of who's coming through. All right, so I have one more stump to show you, and it's been in use for many, many years. Now here's a block on a stump I've been using for years, probably 10 years. And look at how they have licked and eaten all the way around, completely gnawed on that thing, and have made this stump could probably go for months and be its own mineral lick. So again,
I have this out here. If it gives some nutritional value to them, great. If not, it lets me get inventory of who's around. Oh boy. I think. Yes, sir. That's my boy. Oh, yeah. That makes me happy. That's him. Now, where is his other side? All right, everybody, I am back out. I am going to work on a little bit of ground blind maintenance. Actually, I'm going to create a ground blind. So I hunted in this tree. You can probably see my stick about there. That was one of my JX3 spots. I came in, and you can see there's just the one stick. And so what on a lot of these places, what I like to do is hang a stick and leave it. And then I come in with just 2 sticks. And so I put a stick at the bottom, it gets me to that stick. And then I came in with my second stick with the wide top, my JX3 stick with the wide top, which is also my platform. And that gets me high enough in this area, because it's so thick, that gets me high enough to hunt that, because there was a scrape right in there, right underneath that cedar. I put a Brush Creek Monsters scrape vine there, and it got a lot of attention. And so that was one of my go-to spots, but it put me right on top of the action. And so what I think I'm gonna do, since I have done a lot of hunting on the ground in this area, is I'm gonna take all of this I'm gonna take all of this poplar top that fell, and I'm gonna cut a lot of it up, and I am going to brush in right there. I'm gonna brush in and build a little ground blind around that smaller poplar, and I'm gonna back off of that scrape a little bit, and this fall I'm gonna park it right there and hunt on the ground. If you've never bow hunted whitetails from the ground, it's pretty awesome. It's tough because you're down on their level, but when they walk in and I've got my ghillie hood on and I'm usually behind my little brushed in blind, it's kind of nice to come in, open up my chair, sit down, I'm on the ground, I'm comfortable. I'm just packing in that light little Millennium chair, and I mean it's kind of nice. As I get older and heavier, climbing trees is not getting any easier, so that's going to be my plan. So I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to cut twofold. Number one, this clears my shooting lane, and number two, this is going to give me the brush that I need to brush in that trying to do both, brush in right here. So that's what it looks like now. Let's check it out here in a few minutes.
right through here. They come down, that's where the trail goes. And so if they're coming at me right here, I can't draw until they get behind this guy, this poplar right there, that snag. And then my shot will be into here. If they come from this direction, I have this. When they get behind that, that'll be my draw. I left that branch just because it's not in the way. It's really only one spot is in the way, and I'm sure that'll come back to haunt me, but you know, I left it just because. And this is my brush pile right now. And anything coming from over here, I've got a little bit of cover right in there. So hopefully that will work. So there's the trail off to the right. There's my Brush Creek Monster scrape vine. There's the scrape, secondary scrape right there. And they come from that direction right there quite a bit. And so now that's where I'll be. And that dead snag right there gives me a little cover. And I will be right against that poplar right there. So, I don't know. We'll see how it works. All right, so I'm back out here. It's been a few weeks, but I am back out looking for the other side. I need to find that right-hand side. I really am not interested in finding any other antlers except for that one. So, hope I didn't jinx myself. And, you know, it's kind of boring to watch the bulk of shed hunting videos, so hopefully I turn the camera on. It'll be for a good reason. All right, so let me just walk through this. The antler I found was the one that was still on his head in the picture I got of him on February 2nd. And that camera was over there, probably 200 yards away. And then, so the antler I found was the one was laying right in this area. So he had it on his head over there on February 2nd. And on February 24th, I found that antler laying right over here. So the one I need is the one that he dropped prior to or on the morning of February 2nd before I got his picture. So did he drop it? And he was coming this way on February 2nd. So is the antler over there where he was coming from and he had just dropped it? Or is it over here somewhere and he just dropped him? I don't know. I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna search this area pretty good and as best I can. And then I'm gonna head on over and go to the other side of where I got that picture and see if it's over there, which I'm not looking forward to that because it is thick, does not describe how thick it is. And it's not just the cover, it's that there's so many dead trees laying around. I mean, you're constantly stepping over tree trunks and dead ash trees that have fallen over. It is an absolute, what did Jesse the Body say in Predator? I've seen some badass bush before. Well, this stuff makes Cambodia look like Arkansas. Well, that's kind of what I feel like when I get over there. Sorry, I know that was a terrible impression. All right, let's keep looking. Somebody was mad at that little tree. Remember when I said it was thick? Well, here you go. Find a shed in here, I'd have to basically step on it. was like this for a long way. There's probably half acre, almost an acre worth of land that is just like this, just this thick. No trees. You can see the ones that are left are pretty much dead. You know, look at that one. It's barely hanging on. A bunch of stuff just laying. Look at all that laying down. Yeah, this is fun walking. All right. Search continues. I mean, look at all that. I'm not getting through there. There could be an antler laying 10 yards away and I'd never see it. Look at all that dead. So, in case you're wondering, this is what the swath of a tornado looks like. 12 years. It'll be 12 years this spring. Actually, coming up in just a few days, it'll be the 12th year anniversary. So, this is what a tornado does to a farm. And then the ash borer, you can see there's a victim of the ash borer. I'm surprised that much is still standing. It'll probably fall and I'll have to walk over it by next year. So it's just, how do you hunt this? I mean, it is just thick, thick, thick. They could be bedded. There could be a deer bedded right over here, 20 yards away, and I'd never know. They could easily just stand up and slip on out. It adds, I mean, it makes great cover for them, but makes it tough on me. Oh, here's another shot of an area I used to hunt. This used to be all fairly open hardwoods. Had some ash and maple and oak. Now it is just not even maple. This is all poplar, and over that way to the left, over that one. Oh, look, another dead ash. But over that way it's wetter, so there's a lot of sycamores over there. But look at all these. I mean, the oldest tree, they're all, I mean, the biggest one is this one. This guy's one of the biggest ones right here. These two. And I guarantee you, if you cut them down, there'd be about 13, 14 rings on it. They were probably just barely sprouting little saplings when the tornado hit. And this is it. I mean, it is a sapling farm. Now, I mean, how do you hunt this? Look at this. This is just thick, thick, thick. So it's tough. Like I said, great cover for them, but man, it makes it tough. So here's one of the trails right here. I'm just kind of making my way through, seeing if I can find any sheds in here. But again, I mean, it's a little more open in here just because the saplings are starting to shade everything out. But a little bit of autumn olive there, and on the edge, some autumn olive, and the tractor path is up there about, the old logging road is up there about 50 yards. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at all that down junk. It's tough, but they're in here, so shall I. All right, so that farm, I've been hunting it for, gosh, about 12 years. The year before that tornado hit in 2012 was the first year I hunted that farm. It has been very good to me, and this year I chased a good one, and without getting too much into it, I had a couple run-ins with him, and he bested me. I actually shot him and lost him. He survived. Clearly, he made it, but he actually got about 10 days after I shot him,
he got in a fight with another big buck. And this was no sparring match. I mean, they got into it. And he made it all the way through the season. So I will be definitely looking for him. Hopefully there'll be more to this story. But just to summarize that video, I did cover about that second day when after I had found this antler. I covered about 3.8 miles that day, hard miles. You saw how thick it was with all the rose bush and autumn olive and down trees, and just honeysuckle is thick. About 3.8 miles that day, and I didn't find anything. There's still a few other places I want to look, but I know that antler's out there somewhere, so that really pushes me. But this antler, he's definitely a buck of a lifetime. I went ahead and put a tape onto this antler just to give you an idea. It is 72 5/8 inches just by itself. His other side he's a mainframe 11, so he has his 6 main points plus this little kicker down here, which I guess would be a 7th to make him a 12. But yeah, 72 inches, 72 5/8. So he's a stud. But anyway, I'm not finished looking for that other antler. I'm sure I'll be out there every weekend until it finally gets too thick and I just give up. But hopefully I'll have another second parter to this video and I'll have a complete set. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate the views. So stay tuned. I've got a couple ideas. I got some product things I want to talk about, and some archery stuff that I want to get out there. So stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys later.